So welcome back. This routine is a simple routine that uses a series of symbols known as ESP symbols. Now, Jacob, I know that you'll know what these are, but if you're watching this at home and you don't, these are a series of symbols that we use to test for psychic phenomenon. Now, I'm not going to explain too much about what they did or what they are, but I will show you something incredible with them. So mix them up as much as you want. The aim with this is to try to create as many matches as possible. So imagine a psychic game of Snap. Now, Jacob, keep them towards yourself. Now, in a moment, I'm going to place mine down first always. You're going to take one out and you're going to place it down. But before you do that, I want you to think about the one that you feel might be your favorite one out of all of them, right? So the one that just resonates with you. And I'll take one out and I'll place it face down first and you just place yours there. Now, you can put yours face up if you want, just so that you turn it face up, just so that everybody can see what you went for. And I won't move mine, right? It's important. I'm not going to move mine at all. You're about to place the next one down, but I want you to imagine you've never seen these symbols. So you go back and you imagine that you've never seen these symbols before, and you're going to imagine that you were playing the game for the very first time, right? Okay. And you're going to take one out that you don't recognize. So don't take it out yet. I'm going to take mine out, and I'm going to place one down first. So take one out that you feel doesn't gel or belong with the rest. And that were a fair choice. You can put it face up, okay? So this is an entirely fair choice, right? What I want you to do now is think of a simple image, so like a ball or the sun or a stick man, but don't go for those things. Something that you could draw in a matter of seconds. When you've imagined drawing that thing, I want you to imagine the shape of that thing.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to place mine down first again. If you have that shape in there or a shape that's similar, take that and place it face up there for me. Face up. Perfect, right? So, again, that's a fair choice. You're left with two there. Right, this is where it becomes important, and normally I would have you put these face down. This is where it becomes important. This is the hardest bit of all. I want you to look over all of them, change your mind a few times, keep changing. I'm going to take one. You look at those, and I want you to take one and place it face up there, and I'll give you the opportunity to change your mind. It's up to you which one you place down. You happy?
Happy.
That leaves us with one. If these match, would that be good?
That'd be pretty good. That'd be pretty good.
What do you have? Circle. I have the circle as well. That's two of us that have the circle, right? So we'll place those there. But that's not impressive in itself. Like I said, one of these is just chance.
Yeah.
Point to any one of mine.
This one.
This one. Well, I also went for the square as well. Point to another one.
That one.
I went for the star. That leaves these two. I'll do these at the same time at fingertips. And that is the plus and the waves, meaning that I knew in advance exactly what you were going to go for before you ever went for it. But remember, in this, you were thinking of a drawing or an image.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Now, if this is wrong, it doesn't matter, but it's going to give me an insight into how you think. And you genuinely didn't know that you were going to be going for that before you came in, right?
No.
That's important. Can you think of the colour of this thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Now that tells me it probably could be multiple colours. Did you instantly go for one colour that would be... Did you go for red?
Yeah.
Okay. And just close your eyes for a second. I'm going to go for what I think this might be. I might be miles and miles out, and if I am, it doesn't matter, because I will get you with the next one. But I'm hoping, fingers crossed, this is what you want. What was the drawing you were thinking of?
House.
You can open your eyes.
Nice.
And I went for a house as well. Super simple, so really easy, and it's pretty much self-working, and it works 100% of the time. When I explain it, I think you'll like how this works and how there's hidden elements. And then I will jump into ones that you can perform without these ESP symbols, where you can just use regular drawings or whatever you want. But yeah, let me jump into the explanation of this. So this routine is a super simple routine. The thing with it is that the way I'm going to explain it is slightly different to how you saw it performed here, because in this variation on the back end, something happened that I'm going to jump into an entire section on in a moment. So let me explain how this would usually run. This is what's known as a series of psychological forces with a safety net out, right? And that safety net out's important. And before jumping into this, I want to talk to you about a philosophy of mine, because it's a philosophy that most people don't understand. They misquote me on, or they say I've said things that I haven't said. So I want to be very open, and I want to set the record straight here and now. Everything that you see me do is not chancy, right? Everything that you see me do has an out. So if I'm doing a psychological force of a playing card, I'll always have an invisible deck that's sat off to the side in case that doesn't work. Because then I say, oh, you were thinking of this card. Now I took one card and I turned it round and placed it into this deck earlier on, right? I always have an out of some kind, and this is no different, right? So let me talk you through the psychological force or the language, and as soon as you get a couple of these right, the rest are forced to fall in this order. And getting these in the right order is incredibly easy when you're working with a layperson, and I had to slightly change the routine then when I worked with Jacob to ensure this fell in the right place. So let's imagine that you've never seen ESP symbols before. Now think about a regular audience. If you ask them to look over these symbols and look at the ones that they recognize, the ones they don't recognize, that's the first line that I use. Think about the one that resonates with you as being your favorite of all of them. So think about which one you'd go for. Chances are it's going to be a star, right? Now, in the regular, there's two examples of how this could work. It might be right or it might be wrong. Now that sounds chancy, but it's not. And the reason that it's not chancy is because these have been marked. And I'll get into how to mark these later on. And they usually I place mine down first, the star. They place theirs down and it's marked. So I know 100% whether I'm right or I'm not at that point. But it doesn't matter if you're wrong, because you can never be wrong in this routine. You'll understand why. So the star just is, think of what you consider your favorite symbol out of a lot of them, take it out and place it face down. So let's say that they've done what I wanted. Now in this case, Jacob did and it were great. And this is the one that is hard with magicians, because if you ask a magician this, magicians know the ESP symbols and they go for the wavy lines first. I've found that if you're jamming with magicians, I guarantee to you, well, I can't guarantee it 100%, but 98% magicians will go for waves first. But here's the key line for the second part of this. Look across them. Now there'll be a series of symbols that you recognize and ones that'll be fresh and brand new. Take out one of the symbols that you don't recognize the meaning of and just place that one face down. Well, do they know the square? Well, yeah, they've been using squares their entire life. Do they know the plus symbol? Well, yeah, they've seen the cross and the plus symbol the entire life. Do they know the circle? Yeah. Do they know the waves? When have you ever seen the waves in real life? Right, so they don't know it. So what that's done is controlled the order of the first two, or you're hoping it's controlled the order, but these would be marked. So again, they place it face down and you look at the marking. Don't worry if it's wrong. Don't do anything yet. Do not be flustered. Just keep following this pattern, the star and then the wave. Now here's the beautiful bit. I then say, I want you to think of a simple image like a ball or a stick man or the sun or a flower, but don't go for those things. So what I've done is pretty much eliminated the quickest, simplest drawings that are a circle. The sun's a circle, a flower's circle based, a stick man's a circle. Most people statistically, I think it's something like 90%, 85 to 90%. There's a guy called John Thompson that did a series called Naked Mentalism. And I'm not going to go into that, but he looked at the statistics on stuff and it were about 85 to 90%. And I know that most people are going to go at that point for a house or a car or a tree. There's not really much that they can go for when you give them 10 seconds to imagine making a simple drawing, or even a boat. But you think about the drawings that are left. If I ask you to look down in your hand and take one out that resembles the shapes that you've got in your hand, it's going to be a square, because there's not very much that you can draw outside of that. Do you know what I mean? If you're performing on a guy, chances are that they're not going to pick a love heart. Do you know what I mean? So you've got a good chance that the square's going to go down. You ask them to place it face down. Again, you just look at the markings and check your work. But it's star, waves, square. Now the last two have to fall in this order. They have to fall in this order, because what you're doing when you're working face down, and I didn't have this caveat because I was working face up, because these are not marked, right? So I had to check my work this way. And there is an out that I'll explain in another routine. It gives me a chance to share with you another routine that I'd have used had the first one not gone face up right? But I won't explain that now and ruin the secret. What I say when you've got two left, remember these are face down. The audience do not think that you know what these are. Right? They don't think that you know what these are. So what you do is you go, now those symbols are made up of shapes and designs. The shapes are just the square and the circle, whereas the designs are the star, the waves and the plus. If you have a design left in your hand, and I don't know if you do, take the design and place that one down. Well, the only design they've got left is the plus symbol, which leaves you both with a circle. So as long as these first two fall down in that order, star and the waves, then everything else has got to follow in this order right to the end. So what's nice about that is, let's say that you're a little bit more bold and you've got the star and the waves there. What you can do is you can do something at the beginning there that's a turnover move that I'll share with you in the next routine to knock these two out of the park and still force these three on the end. If these two are put down wave and star instead of star and wave, which it doesn't matter. But now let's talk about if they've totally messed this up. So they've totally gone off on their own tangent and they've put a circle down at the beginning and then a square here and then a star there, and it's just a mess, right? It's just a mess, but they're all face down. Watch how beautiful this is and how motivated it is. They don't know you know what these are, right? Yours are also face down. So they don't know what yours are. And now you look across and you say, I thought we'd end up in this situation. So I'm going to give you one opportunity. Do you want to move any of your cards? So you offer them that opportunity. So this is a mess. They're not in order. Never offer them that opportunity if they are in order, right? Don't offer them it if they are in order, but if they're not. And if they say yes, you go, yes, okay. Well, I put mine down assuming you wouldn't move yours. So I'll tell you what, you move some of yours randomly, and then what I'll do is I'll move mine to reflect what I think you're going to do with yours. And now they're marked, so you just match the markings up. So when they move theirs, it now becomes the same ESP matchup. Let's say that they say, no, I don't want to move mine. You go, you don't want to move them. I assumed that you were going to move them, so I put mine down in a different order to reflect how you were going to move them. So let me just rearrange them back how I would have put them if you'd have said that you did what. So now you've given yourself the motivation to rearrange yours so the markings match. Now, it's still a perfect ESP routine, but you're giving yourself the chance at this beautiful, beautiful thing right at the end. Now you're thinking to yourself, now this bit on the end, with this I am going to get into, because I had to use an equivocate at the end there, but you won't have noticed it. Like, because I did these face up, I realised as I was working face up there, I thought to myself, oh God, I've done these face up, I can't see because they're not marked, I can't do the regular ending of forcing the plus to go down, so I had to do something else, which I could share it now. I don't want to, for a reason it enables me to share another routine, so you're getting more from it, then share the technique, and then go, that's exactly how that worked, right? This bit on the end was bold, really, really bold, because I took a chance, right? I took a chance on it was going to be the house. If it had been the car, I'd have said, but be honest, did you change from the house? If they said yes, that'd have been that. If not, I'd have turned around and said, okay, but you'll notice one line that I said, if it's not, I will get you next time. And it opens up me to play a second game. It's just a bit of fun, right? But what I'd normally do, and this is the bit that's nice, I normally put the letters H, O, U, S, and E on the back of these in UV ink, right? So now when I say to them, and what were the drawing you were thinking of? I'm intrigued. If they say a car, oh, that's your personality type. If they say house, I turn these over, and I now shine the light on the back of these, and I get the hit of the image of a house that's hidden in plain sight the entire time because you can't see that ultraviolet ink. So it's hidden, it's a safety net, it's there, right? And I've got that safety net in place, like I said to you, with the markings. In this case, I had a different safety net, and I'm going to perform a different routine now that could go one of however many different ways, but it'll show you what I'd have done if that had been different when this were placed down. So let's jump into the next routine that'll explain what I'd have done if this hadn't worked the way that it did. So this is another routine that I can share that would show you exactly what would have happened if this had gone differently. So Jacob, again, take these symbols, give them a mix, keep them towards yourself so I don't see them. Now, this is what I want you to do. I want you to think for a second about which one that you are going to place down. So take your time, change your mind a number of times. Don't do it yet. I'm going to take one. And I'm going to place mine face. In fact, I'm going to change that in the last second to that one. I want you to look at yours, and I want you to place yours face up there for me. 100% a fair choice.
Yep.
Look what I went for. Right? Let's do this again. Now, everyone's going to think that this is...
It's not a setup, no. That would have to be
100%, right? Let's do it again, right? Okay. Let's do it again. So think about what you're going to go for. Again, I'll take mine. I'll place it face down. We'll do a few this time just to prove it, and then you place one face up here. Okay, so look, I went for the square as well. Right? Let's do this again, because I know everybody's sort of thinking to themselves that maybe there's some order.
No, it's not.
Right, okay. This time what I want you to, wait a second, you're going to think of one and then change your mind, right? So what are you thinking of right now?
I was on the star.
Okay, so I said you're going to think of one and then change your mind. So think of one, change your mind, and then place that one face up there. Happy that's a fair choice? I said, well, we'll do a few, right? So just focus on whatever this is. And I want you to now change your mind to another one. So look at me. Be honest with me. Did you go back to the waves there?
No.
Okay, good. Place the one down that you were thinking of. Happy that's a fair choice. Do you want to change it?
Nope.
Okay. I think that you're going to go for this one next. So I'll place that down there. You take one out and place it down. Do you want to change that one? Happy?
Happy.
I'm trying to influence you as we go along. I'm going to place this one down. This is where it gets really interesting for me, because I want you to look at me. I'm just going to send to you the one that I just placed down. Now what's going to happen is you're going to doubt yourself. Right now, which one do you think that I placed down?
Star.
I'm going to ask you, do you want to change your mind at the last second?
Okay.
Yes or no? Doesn't matter.
I'll stick.
Okay, so place it down. And that leaves us with just one. Right, so I'll place that here as well. Take it. Now think about this. If this had been different, so keep yours there, ours should be the cross, then the star, then the waves, and we'll do these two, square, and obviously circle. Right? So that's a great little routine that you can do. It's nice, it's simple.
It is really nice. It's
a very old routine. It's a very, very old routine. There was the credit for the more modern version eludes me now, but it would grab. I can't remember. I think it was called Carver, and I'm going to get kicked for not remembering what this credit is. But I came up with this version independently, and then I found out that somebody else had it, and I approached that person and said, "Look, you've done everything you can to make it as different as mine as you can. You're welcome to use it wherever you want." And I do apologise. I hadn't thought about this routine for about 10 years, but there is updates to it, right?
Yeah.
So now when I tell you how this works, you saw at the beginning how powerful that bit was when I nailed a few in a row there, and there's genuinely no setup, right?
There's no setup there.
This is simple. This is just a one ahead, right? And what you do, so if you pick yours up and you mix them, I try to genuinely think about what I think they're going to go for. That's not a lie. I genuinely try. There's patterns that I try to play out. So I look through them, I take one and I place it face down, and I ask you to look at yours. And there's a couple of things that I do to hedge my bets, but you have a think and then place yours face up there. Now, if that matches, which it did, I just turn this round and I take the hit, right? But it didn't in this case. So what do? I don't fluster. I go perfect. I look at what he's placed down, which is the waves, and now I take the waves and I place them down next. So all he's doing is giving me an indication. So you take another one and place it down. So it's a square. It doesn't match my two symbols here. So I just keep going. So now I take the square out and I place that face down. And then you take another one out. But I'm trying to make it feel in between like there's something happening, and you place it face up there. So now my chain ends here because I know I placed a circle down first. I don't have a circle in my hand, right? So now what I do is I leave a break on the table.
Okay.
I leave a break on the table here. And I say, right, that leaves us with two, right? And now in some environments, and I can't in this environment, I can see through the bits of card. I can here, this is the star.
Yeah.
This is the star here, right? So I say, right, like I can because of the light here. And you'll find that if you're working in a shop window, or you're in a coffee shop or a bar, sometimes you can. And I say, now which one are you contemplating putting down next?
This is star.
No. You just point to the one that you're contemplating putting down next. But don't show me, right? So you'd keep them towards yourself and point to the one that you're contemplating. So that one. So what that'd allow me to do is I say, don't let me see these. Keep them to yourself. Because I could see through this, it'd allow me to know you were going to go for the star. So then I'd take this one and I'd place it face down. So you'd take that one and place it face down, which leaves us with this. So now when I turn it, I know these are going to match, and they go down. I know these are going to match, but I know I have to do a readjustment here. So I'm not going to kill the best and cleanest ending by turning these around. I'm going to leave them there. I'm going to pick these up, and as I pick these up off the table, there's a move here what I do is I spread them on the table, so this one's at the bottom, and as I lift up, I say pick yours up, and I'm just picking the one from the bottom up. So I'm taking the one from the bottom and it's coming to the top. So now the circle, the square, and the waves are going to match, and I'm just rearranging that chain, right? So we'll run that again, and just so you can see the performance, and you can see, and I'll explain as I'm going what my brain's saying, so you can understand what my logic is. So you pick those up and mix them up, because there is a bit sometimes where you're going to get two symbols that match and the chain ends in the beginning, and there's a turnover move that you can use that's really nice. So in fact, let's show them the turnover move. And then, so let's say that I place one face up, and it's the, you place the circle there. Circle. And then I follow, and I put the circle face down, and you put the waves there. So now we've got the circle and the waves. What I'll do now is I'll literally pick these up, and I'll just turn them like this.
Oh, nice.
So I'm literally, because these are like this, the waves, my waves has gone down the circle, I'm literally just taking my hands, sliding them off the table, turn, and they match. It's just turning them over, but they match, and it looks like a perfect matchup, right? So let's play the full game. So you pick them up, mix them, think of any one of them, right? So look at me for a second. No, I'm not going to change mine. You place that one face up. Do you want to change yours?
No.
No, that doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter if he changes or not, right? This is not hit. I put the plus down, but nobody knows that. And I go, are you sure? I'm going to tell you I've got it right, and the aim's to beat me. Do you want to change it? So if he says no, it doesn't matter. If he says yes, he's up in the statistical likelihood of matching my symbol, right? So now I look at you again. Okay, and I put the square down now. So just you place one down. Doesn't matter which one you place down, put it face up. And again, it still doesn't match, which is not a problem. So I just look and I say, right, you're going to think of one and then you're going to change your mind. Right, so you look at me. Okay, so what are you thinking of right now?
Star.
The star. And do you want to change, or are you happy?
Okay, let's say I want to change.
Okay, what do you want to change to?
So what we got here? The plus sign.
Okay. So then take the plus out and place it there. So now that's broke my chain. I know I put the plus down first. I don't have the plus in my hand. So now I put a gap on the table.
Okay.
Now let me show you what would happen if I couldn't see through the cards. So now I take these, I look, I go, okay. Take one, just place it face up here. So that matches now, which is great. So I know that this one matches. So I turn this one in the hand, and there it matches, right? Let's say, for example, that mine ended up this way around, so that it didn't match, but we're on the last two symbols. So that leaves us with this. I'll place mine down, you place yours face up. So now, this turnover move is nicer visually than adjusting these. So I do not do the turnover till the end. So what I do is, as I'm pushing these off the table, I take these, pick yours up, I point, I've just taken this from the bottom and rearranged to the top. So it should be the plus, the circle, and now I hold this, and I watch, because I'm going to do something that involves both hands, and I go the square, and then the star, and the waves, and I do the turnover move with my right hand, cleaning everything up. So in that last routine, when I were working with Jacob and doing the Psi-Force, if I were doing the Psi-Force, it wouldn't have worked the way that I were going to do it, so I'd have just moved into this, because it would face up.
Yeah.
So if you'd have gone for the waves at the beginning, like most magicians do,
right,
I'd have just instantly gone into this little routine.